Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to do a quick review of the Openbox edition of Manjaro. Recently, I did do a review of Crunchbang++, which is also an Openbox distribution, but I wanted to do a review of another Openbox distribution, this time something that's a little bit more recent because Crunchbang++ is based on Debian 9, which is actually close to being upgraded. Debian 10 is coming right around the corner. So Manjaro, being a rolling release, is definitely more current, and it offers a completely different experience. Even though it's still Openbox, it's customized a lot differently. So let's take a look. So here it is, guys. This is the Openbox edition of Manjaro. I have it running on a System 76 Darter Pro that was lent to me for my review. That review is already up on my channel if you want to check that out. But I went ahead and installed it on this laptop to make sure that it's running on some really good hardware. This is a Core i7, but then again, this is Openbox, so it doesn't really need the horsepower. So as you can see here, it is a more advanced distribution. This is not something that a beginner would want to use because it does require a lot of manual configuration. The default configuration does work just fine, but if you want to make any changes, it's not as easy as other distributions. Now, here we have a bar here up at the top. I believe this is called the poly bar, but I'm not 100% sure. But basically, there's two bars. There's the Tint 2 panel here at the bottom, which is the most common panel that's used with Openbox. And then we have the poly bar here up at the top. We have an application menu, and this allows us to easily get into our applications. Now, since it's Openbox, we also have that available via right-click. We have the right-click menu as well. Usually with Openbox, the right-click menu is the default way of launching applications, but we actually have two methods of doing that here. So taking a look around the default layout, we have our workspaces here. We have 4 workspaces by default, which have some very interesting icons to represent some example intended usage. For example, web browser, your home directory, or what have you. I looked at the configuration, and this is simply just emoji, if I'm understanding the configuration correctly. And I believe you can have more than 4 workspaces. But I think this is a very interesting thing here because this panel not only gives you access to your workspaces, but it even shows you your battery usage and some resource usage here as well, followed by, of course, your clock. And we also have a calendar here as well. We have a Conky setup. The Conky shows some resource usage as well, so you can see how much RAM is being used, CPU, your host name, uptime, things like that. And then we also have a list of shortcut keys here at the bottom. So, for example, it mentions Synapse. So if I do Control Space like it says, I get a nifty little launcher here, which I think is the fastest way of launching applications. I used to use Synapse quite a bit. I'm using uLauncher nowadays, but it's effectively the same thing. You just press Control Space, and then you get something you can use to search. So for example, Chromium is the default browser, so if I start typing that, I don't even need to type the entire thing, and then I could just press Enter, and then up comes the browser. So even though we have a right-click menu, you don't actually need to use it. If you know the name of the program you want to run, Control Space, start typing, definitely a faster way of launching applications. We'll get back to the video in just a moment, guys, but before we do, I just wanted to quickly mention my sponsor, Linode. Linode is an awesome provider of cloud Linux servers, and their Cloud Manager dashboard makes it extremely easy to set up your own Linux server in seconds. Whether you like Fedora, Debian, or Ubuntu, or whatever your distribution of choice is, you can have your very own Linux server running your favorite distribution in a geographic location near you, with the latest one just recently introduced in Toronto. So go ahead and check out the link in the description below this video, where you can get $20 in credit towards your own Linux server. So go ahead and check that out, and let's get right back to the video. So we have some default application shortcuts here. So for example, Super plus F brings up the file manager. Super and then T at the same time will bring up a terminal window. So that's pretty cool. Music player, Super M. And that brings up the Dead Beef music player. Audio control, Super and then V. And then I get direct access to adjust my audio output effectively, so that's pretty awesome as well. So they thought of pretty much everything. And then what's even cooler is the window switcher. So if I press Super and S at the same time, I get this neat little overview of all of the actual windows that are open on that workspace, which is actually really awesome. I'm glad to see something so advanced and useful in Openbox, which is effectively a window manager, but it's actually given a feature that you would most likely find on a more resource-intensive desktop environment. Now, one thing that's interesting to me is that it says press Super plus E for text editor. That's not going to work, unfortunately, because the text editor that references is not installed by default. But this distro is completely customizable. So if you right-click anywhere where there's no window or icon, then you could go over here to Preferences. You get the ability to customize pretty much anything you would like to customize. So for example, Openbox, you could customize Openbox right here. There's a GUI menu editor. So if I click on that, it allows me to actually customize the menu. And if I want to configure the polybar, for example, I could just go back here to the menu, then right here to polybar, and then I can edit configs. Go ahead and do that. And then I could just choose any one of the items here to customize a specific part of that. So I'm going to go ahead and change workspaces right here. And then you can see how the workspaces are customized. You can see the icons right here. And then you see the accompanying icons here as well. So if you want to customize your workspaces, this is where you would do that. And that basically gets into the main point. I mean, as you can see, the customization here is not extremely easy. If you're used to a desktop environment, then you're basically going to be accustomed to a GUI settings manager that allows you to customize pretty much everything. So you're going to see that this is a very inconsistent experience because some things here have a GUI manager to configure. So for example, if you're adding a wireless network, that'll be a GUI interface for you to do that. But some things might have a text editor that you'll need to open and a file you'll need to edit to customize other things. But you know, that's to be expected actually in a window manager because Openbox, as being a window manager, does not have any customization whatsoever. It has no features, and any features it does have is added in by other tools or add-ons that were accompanying this distribution specifically. So of course there's going to be no consistency, but the benefit here is that a window manager runs a lot less resource intensively than any other environment. So a desktop environment like GNOME or KDE is going to use a lot more RAM and CPU. But the benefit of Openbox is being that it's a window manager, it's going to use a lot less resources. So let's take a look at the resource usage. I have several applications running here, but I'm just going to go ahead and bring up HTOP. And we can see this laptop has 8 cores. Actually it has 4, but it has 8 logical cores. With all these applications open though, it's not using much memory. It's still under 1 gigabyte of memory. CPU usage, you know, a couple things are spiking it up here and there, but overall the CPU usage is quite low, especially for as many applications as I have running, with Chromium being the heaviest of each. I'm going to go ahead and close these out right now. And now we can see what the resource usage looks like with nothing running. Now, of course, there's going to be some background processes. There's a lot of different things that are included here by default that you're not seeing that's running in the background. But with everything visibly closed, we're around 700 megabytes, give or take a few. So definitely not using very much RAM here. The CPU is, you know, effectively 0 for the most part, as would be expected. So for those of you that are a fan of more lightweight environments, I think that the Openbox edition of Manjaro will appeal to you. As you could see in the output, it uses very few resources, so that allows you to attribute more resources to your applications, which at the end of the day are more deserving of your CPU and RAM than simply your desktop environment, or in this case, window manager. So being very resource friendly also makes it run well on older hardware. So if you have an old computer, then you're probably especially concerned about system resources. So this might be a great avenue for you as well. It's not for beginners, it's for technologists. So I'm sure a lot of you that are viewing my channel, this will be right up your alley. I think it's great. I might run it on one of my machines for a little while just to kind of see how it goes. But I'm very impressed with the configuration and customization that Manjaro has set up here. I think that it's actually superior to Crunchbang++. Now, Crunchbang is something I have very fond memories of. I've been using it for quite some time. So, you know, in some ways I do quite enjoy the Crunchbang experience, but I have to be honest, Manjaro definitely has the superior experience here. So what are your thoughts of the Openbox edition of Manjaro? Go ahead and leave me your comments in the comment thread down below, and I look forward to reading that. In the meantime, I'll have new videos for you guys very soon, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you want to help me out, go ahead and check out the links in the description below, and there you'll find a link to purchase my latest book, Mastering Ubuntu Server, 2nd edition. You'll also find a link to my Patreon page, as well as my Amazon store, which includes a listing of Linux-compatible hardware that I've tested personally. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.